Okay, so it didn't take me long to run into a few snags as I was modeling up a room in Blender, importing it into Unreal Engine, and trying to play through and just demo a few things. So here I've got a room that I've made in Blender. It's got a door and then a very simple inside, which you can't see because it's not illuminated, and a player start at the top here to demonstrate my problem. So if I play this, you'll see I go right through the ceiling, right through the floor, and I can run around, go into, out of the walls. Um, this is not how a building should behave. So the solution is to set up collisions, but you also need to set up collisions with normals facing the right direction from Blender. Okay, so let's start with Unreal Engine. So if we select our static mesh, we can double click it here in the content browser or double click it over here in the properties panel. And there's essentially two different things that we want to do, or at least the workflow that I've found. So one is to select this double-sided geometry, make sure this checkbox is checked. And then second, under collision, both of these are under collision, go to collision complexity, and mine was set to project default, move down to use complex collision as simple. Save your static mesh, close this, let's try to play again, and you'll notice we are stopped by the top, and if we go ahead and carefully jump down, we can't run through the sides, and if we find the door, let's hop through the door, you'll see that we're inside. Now you'll notice you don't see the walls, everything is transparent. That's something we'll have to fix in the material. And because of certain jankiness for me, I've got a window here. And you see I can pop right out of the wall there. That's not what I want. So what I did is inside of Blender, if you come here and press tab to go into edit mode, just tab, don't fat finger everything else. And what I want to view is the normals. If I go into this little drop down menu with these two circles, go most of the way to the bottom down to the normals, and if you click this one with the face, it's got an arrow with a face, you can change the size of the normals. I've already got these inverted, so let's go ahead and under mesh, go to normals, flip. So when I first made this box, and what I was demonstrating in Unreal Engine is these normals were facing outward. But since I want to be inside the room doing things, I don't necessarily want the collisions to be from the outside. Most everything's going to happen inside. I want to go to mesh, and as I did before, normals, flip. So if I go into the room, I can see that the normals are pointing inside. And I export this, and then re-import it into Unreal. So I've got this other one. I'm going to go ahead and delete my broken one. Put this in, get it in the right spot. And if I recall, I had to, on the door side, move this over a bit. And again, this is freshly imported, so let's make sure that our collisions are set up. I'm going to go ahead and click double-sided geometry. Under collision complexity, use complex collision as simple to allow us to get through the door. Save it, close this window, and then play in the editor. So I'm now stopped by the ceiling, even though I can see through the ceiling. If I carefully jump down here, I can't jump through what, I can jump through the wall from the outside, but I can't from the inside jump through. And the problem I had of falling through this window is no longer there. So everything from inside the room seems to be working, which is fine because I'm not going to allow players to go to the outside and jankily get through the geometry. So to fix this problem of being able to see through the floor, which you can view in the editor, that's a materials issue. So I'm going to change from the default world material to a janky in progress stone material for the monastery. And then double clicking this material, I'm going to go down in the details panel under general and then under material property overrides, make sure this two-sided is checked. You can view it in the editor by unchecking it, and you can see through the geometry where the normals are not facing. So on this outside, the normals are facing inward, so that allows the camera to go through. But if we click this double-sided, then it doesn't matter which side the normals are pointing to, the material will block um, the visibility. So make sure those two things are checked, click save, go out, play our game. Okay, we're back to the top, we're blocked, but there's also the material on both sides and everything is, for me, hunky-dory. So that was how I solved this problem. Just make sure your collisions are set number 1. You have two-sided geometry in your collision. Use complex as simple so I can get through things like this doorway. And if a player really wants to, they can jump up on this little ledge. And then in the material, use two-sided material. And that's it. So hope you weren't too bored. Maybe you learned something. And I will see you in the next video.